Ever pondered how discourse shapes our understanding of history and social reality? Let's unravel this intricate web together. At its core, the discourse-historical approach is a method of analyzing language use by delving into its social, historical, and political context. It's like looking at a piece of text under a magnifying glass, allowing us to see beyond the words and into the complex narratives they construct. The beauty of this approach lies in its interdisciplinary nature. It draws elements from linguistics, sociology, and history, creating a comprehensive picture of the context in which discourse takes place. So it's not just about what is being said, but also who is saying it, when they're saying it, and why. The discourse-historical approach is not just about studying language, it's about decoding the world around us. It's about understanding how the narratives we construct and consume shape our perception of reality. To grasp the discourse-historical approach, consider the case of the Brexit referendum. The Brexit referendum, a historic event in itself, offers a fascinating case study for this approach. The discourse-historical approach isn't just about what was said during the campaign, but also about the how and why. It's about digging deeper into the rhetoric used by both sides to understand the underlying ideologies and power dynamics at play. In the run-up to the referendum, the Leave campaign used emotive language and narratives of sovereignty and control, while the Remain camp focused on economic stability and the benefits of shared resources. But that's just the surface. The discourse-historical approach prompts us to look beyond these obvious narratives. Here's where the historical context comes in. The Brexit campaign took place in a time of growing dissatisfaction with the political establishment, mounting concerns about immigration, and a rising tide of nationalism. By considering these factors, we can begin to understand the deeper reasons behind the rhetoric. For instance, the Leave campaign's emphasis on sovereignty wasn't just about the UK's relationship with the EU. It was also a response to a wider feeling of loss of control among certain segments of the population. Similarly, the Remain camp's focus on economic stability reflected not just the perceived benefits of EU membership, but also fears about the potential fallout of a departure. But there's more. The discourse-historical approach also asks us to consider the power dynamics at play. Who was doing the speaking? Who was their audience? What ideologies were they appealing to, consciously or unconsciously? And how did these dynamics shape the discourse? By unpacking the discourse in this way, we can start to see the Brexit referendum not just as a standalone event, but as part of a wider historical and political context. It helps us to understand why certain arguments resonated with certain groups, and why others fell flat. By inspecting the discourse surrounding Brexit, we can uncover not just what was said, but why it was said, and what it truly meant in that specific historical context. So what can we conclude about the discourse-historical approach from our exploration? Firstly, it's clear that this approach is inherently interdisciplinary. It merges linguistic analysis with insights from social sciences and humanities, allowing us to explore the interplay between language and its historical context. This fusion of disciplines guides us to a more comprehensive understanding of discourse, one that is deeply embedded in its historical and social milieu. Secondly, the discourse-historical approach underlines the importance of context. It acknowledges that language isn't used in a vacuum. Rather, it's shaped by and in turn shapes the context in which it's used. Our exploration of the Brexit case exemplifies this, showing how the approach can reveal the socio-political dynamics underpinning a discourse. In essence, the discourse-historical approach provides a lens to examine language beyond its surface, revealing the intricate dynamics of history, society, and politics that shape our discourse. One might ask, why is the discourse-historical approach relevant in today's world? Well, let's consider the world we live in. It's filled with complex issues like the climate crisis, political campaigns, and social movements, all of which are wrapped in layers and layers of discourse. The discourse-historical approach gives us an analytical lens to peel back these layers and examine the context, the history, the power dynamics embedded within these discourses. It's like a decoder ring for the world's complexities. Take the climate crisis, for example. When we use this approach, we can understand not just the words being said, but also the historical context, the political implications, and the societal impacts of climate discourse. This understanding can help us navigate the complexities of our world, making sense of the narratives that shape our lives. In a world where words hold power, The discourse-historical approach equips us with the tools to decode that power and understand our society more deeply.